Hello, Civics friends. I'm in one of my favorite spots in Waterdown, the Souharissen Natural Area, which is located across the road from Pickard's Peanuts, near the bridge at Burke Street. As you can jump on the trail, and it stretches 55 acres along this side of number 5. And I wanted to show you this spot, which is the place where, as the stone says, a sacred fire was lit on August 21st, 2014. It was the first time that a sacred fire burned in this region, they believe for generations, and it was lit by Elder Gary Sue of the Mississaugas of the Credit. It was tended by a firekeeper, Rocky Burnham of the Six Nations, and it was visited by Chief Brian Laforme of the Mississaugas of the Credit, as well as Lieutenant Governor David Onley. This stone here was donated by the wonderful Coggy family, Eugene and Cindy Coggy. Eugene was a former teacher at Waterdown District High School. He's an elder attached with the school. He's a great friend, and so he wanted to make sure that this spot had something to identify what it was to people, to help educate them. So it's an excellent example of active citizenship, actually, which is what I want to talk about today. But in order to do that, or before we do that, I want to show you one of my favorite spots. So you just follow the trail through here. And it takes you into this little area here. It's a beautiful spot, in my opinion. And this is a branch of the Grindstone Creek, also called Spring Creek. So those of you that live in the Spring Creek subdivision, this is what it's named after. And this actually follows along to a waterfall a little ways away. And you can see the stone statue there. We call her the Flamborough Goddess. She appeared a few years ago and watches over Spring Creek. Souharissen Natural Area is a great place for you to get outside, go for a hike, and practice social distancing. This past weekend, because the weather has just been gorgeous, as it is today, a lot of people have been going outside, and some really unfortunate images are appearing online. You may have heard, and I'll post the article to our site, of the Trinity Bellwood Park in Toronto, where thousands of people gathered, not observing social distancing or wearing masks. And I thought that this would be a good time to discuss types of citizens. We all live in a society together, and right now, due to COVID-19, we are in a time of crisis where we have to take care of each other, particularly the vulnerable. And it calls on us to be something called an active citizen. Now, in our civics program, we have two other types of citizens: bystanders and perpetrators. And we have to be careful right now that we don't become bystanders or perpetrators of future spikes of the COVID-19 pandemic. Even though the weather is getting nicer, I mean, it has been beautiful this weekend. It does not reduce the danger to infecting other people. And even though we might be young and healthy and whatnot, it doesn't mean that we can't put other people at risk. And so medical professionals, Dr. Teresa Tam, the Canada Medical Health Officer, as well as many others, are screaming at people to stay apart. And so we have to ask ourselves, what type of a citizen do we want to be? Do we want to be an active citizen? And an active citizen means keeping our social distance, wearing masks when we can't observe social distance, staying home whenever we can, and being respectful of other people's wishes. Do we want to be a bystander who sees instances of social distancing protocols being broken but not saying anything? Or do we want to be a perpetrator? People who are actively flouting these regulations. When I saw the Trinity Bellwood pictures, I immediately thought of Waterdown's Memorial Park, as well as the parking lot around McDonald's, because that is a gathering point for a lot of people that aren't observing social distancing protocols. So we have to be part of the solution. So this week, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the different types of citizens, and we're going to look at them in the context of what we're living through right now with COVID-19. So that doesn't mean you can't get out and find these beautiful places. But if you show up and those places are full, don't get out of the car. Be part of the solution. So I'm going to put some links below to some articles of some unfortunate incidents over this past weekend. And then for the rest of the week, we are going to discuss different types of citizens.